Hey guys, Kdwolf here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another devblog update. This one I think is the one that a lot of people have been waiting for. This one covers the biggest challenge, and the name of the devblog update is the challenge and saga of zombie pathfinding. So everybody has had an issue with this at one point or another, some people more than others. Of course, zombies are pretty much overpowered right now and run through just about anything. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't think anybody likes the running through everything aspect of the issue. So basically that's what we're going to be covering today. I'm going to kind of go through this with you guys, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we want to cover is the development priorities and pace section. They state, our major focus has been on establishing the architecture both in the team and in the game in order to deliver the best in the future. This involved us drastically increasing the size of the team working on the game. This had a severe short-term impact on our progress as our existing team had to devote time and resource to training and planning. The new zombie pathfinding is a good example of this approach beginning to produce results. So basically they added, I think, 50 people to the team, and if you've ever been on any kind of development team or anything like that, the first thing that they have to do when they add people is train the people. So a lot of people had an idea that when they added this huge team that they would immediately start producing content week after week, and it would just double and expand in content and in size. So, and that's true, but not initially. Initially, they have to train people on the new systems. You know, these people probably have really good backgrounds in coding and things like that, but you always have to be trained on new systems, no matter how much you know. You're going to be green and you're going to be new at some point. So that's what they had to do initially. And I believe Dean stated in his Reddit that the team was trained and they're ready to go. So this is going to be good. They're going to start pumping out features and things, hopefully on a monthly basis, I think is what they said. Next thing we're going to cover are going to be the major future changes that are coming. The first change is going to be an entirely new rendering system, and this is going to allow potential upgrades to DX10 or DX11, which is DirectX 10 or DirectX 11. The next change is going to be true multi-threading, multi-core for servers and possibly clients. So I think this goes right along with the 64-bit servers that they're going to be adding. The next point is going to be a completely new animal AI that mirrors an actual animal's behaviors. This is pretty incredible to me. I'm really excited. I know a lot of people are too, about the addition of animals into the game. It's going to change the whole atmosphere of the entire game, I think. Right now, you've got zombies and players, and that's it. So when they add these animals into the game, they're going to act like real animals. I know there's going to be hostile animals, so maybe bears, boars, things like that. There's going to be neutral animals. I'm hoping also for companion animals, which they said is going to be in the future as well. So maybe a pet dog or something like that. So that's pretty cool as well. The next point is going to be redeveloped action system, replacing the mouse wheel scroll action system. So this is really interesting to me. I don't know, there's no details on what they're going to be doing with this, but I think it's going to be pretty cool to see what they can do. That way, you don't have to scroll to do everything. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm a little nervous about it, but I think it's going to be good in the long run. The last point, which is probably my favorite, is the complete refactoring of the inventory system. They say, while not a big change for users, possibly allows some more advanced systems to be implemented and better performance and less bugs. So that's really cool. I mean, I like the inventory system as it is, but obviously it can be better, and they're definitely going to make it better. So I'm really excited for that. So the next thing we're going to cover is going to be the zombie pathfinding issue or collision issue. This is what everyone has been complaining about since the release of the alpha back in December. In the devlog, they cover the background, which most of us know, in layman's terms, zombies ran through everything. But basically, they say zombies have proven to be one of the most difficult to develop components of the game. When we were developing the game, we realized that in the time we had, we would need to work within the parameters of the AI already in the engine. In the engine, AI is calculated on a per-agent basis with some caching for things like targets, shared target info, etc. In the mod, this was dropped in favor of calculating visibility and target info on a per-player approach. This meant that zombies in the mod were simply pawns activated by players moving around. In addition to behavior problems, we also experienced problems with pathfinding and collision for the AI. We were getting the engine to do things that it was never designed to do, especially regarding interiors of buildings. We attempted to refactor these solutions to accommodate our changes, but as can be seen by playing the current build, they fell short of our expectations. In the end, we decided it would be easier to develop a new approach from scratch. And basically, as everyone knows, in the Arma 2 engine, obviously there were no zombies. When Dean created the mod, he added the zombies as completely new entities to the engine. And trying to get the zombies to not run through walls and target players and go on a path, that was followed the player exactly and didn't run into objects, was stretching the limits of the engine that they were using. So the next thing they go on to talk about is the challenge itself. They state there are many exciting solutions available for pathfinding. It's a fairly standard fare in the video gaming industry. Our problem was not unique, but our situation was. Our world is very big, yet it requires the same precision as a small one. The team devoted to solving this decided to use navigation meshes. The serious problem it presented, though, was how to generate these meshes with nearly 2 million objects on the map. Doing it by hand would not be an option. So a method was devised to split the world up into grids and then raycast at a precise interval and generate chunks of nav mesh. This is all done during the packing process and baked out into data that can be read by the server and the client. This uses the wonderful approaches outlined in the open source nav mesh project Recast and Detour. And basically, if you don't know what a nav mesh is, you want to think of it as, think of the Dayz map, and where the nav mesh comes in is it's a collection of data or a collection of polygons that tells the zombies where they can walk. So that's the path that they're gonna follow. So that's pretty much what a nav mesh is. So in closing for this one, they state performance optimizations can be very significant. Currently, the team is working on parallelizing the AI pathfinding function so it can operate on a separate core. With all new functionality, we're developing in this way. Unfortunately, that means that it can take longer for us to develop, but the results for performance can be massive. So give them a break, guys. We all know it's an alpha. It's not a beta. It's not a full game. And they're going to get this zombie stuff fixed. There's no ETA on it, but just know that when they do, it's going to be really good. I think everybody will be surprised at how good it is, and it's going to make the game that much better. So the next section is a report from the lead artist, Chris Torchia. He states, I'm happy to report on the loads of content which will soon hit experimental servers. Recently, the Prague and Bratislava studios had our first meet and greet, so I was able to get a first-hand look at all of the ongoing work by the artists and animators on our new animals. We have a basic implementation of prototype animals that will be swapped out by our Bratislava artist's work, which is looking incredible. So this next part, guys, I'm absolutely excited about. Probably even more so than hunting itself, even though I hate to admit it. Chris states, improvised fishing tackle and a carp were created, which players will be able to catch in ponds. We have also created some fillet models, which you will eventually be able to cook. This will add up to be a literal game changer. I absolutely could not agree with Chris more. This is going to add so much immersion into the game. This is going to be more of an incentive for people to get out of the cities, get into the woods, explore the northern areas of the map. The game is beautiful, and it's going to be even more immersive now that you'll be able to hunt and create your own fishing tackle and fishing pole and fish. And then even after you fish, you get to go cook it up and hang out with your buddies around the campfire and share stories of the day, you know, what you did at the Northeast Airfield, what you did in Balota, Electro, wherever you were. So I am super excited about this. I think it's going to be an incredible addition to the game. And yeah, I think it's going to be absolutely a game changer. Chris also goes on to say that our character artist is further expanding with the addition of a new large capacity police vest to go along with our OMON inspired open uniform. We have also started working on EMT, firefighter, and finalizing the Gorka uniforms. So that's a pretty cool addition to the game. You'll be able to role play a little bit more if you're into that kind of stuff. You'll be able to dress your characters up like an EMT. I know there are a lot of people out there who like to play medic type characters, firefighter, which would be pretty cool, and then also a police uniform. So that's a pretty cool addition to the game. The last section covers fireplaces, hunting, and being a lumberjack. Chris states, we pulled fireplaces and hunting from the previous update in their state at the time. We felt they would hinder gameplay, not enhance it. The extra time has been spent improving gameplay aspects and also identifying how we can better support it. The build to experimental will show the basic structure of how this will work. Chopping wood from the trees now gives logs, and after a certain time, the trees will be expended and fall over. Tree cutting is done by holding an axe in your hands and using the mouse wheel action menu. This is a prime example of why we want to remove the mouse wheel action system. Instead of this, we envision you simply hitting the tree with the axe and being rewarded with wood, but that is for the future. Fireplaces can be upgraded with stones, which are recovered from the ground around rocky areas or by hitting rocks with a pickaxe. Fireplaces can be crafted by making a fireplace kit out of items such as rags and kindling. Kindling is recovered by searching the forest floor for sticks. All these scavenging aspects need to be more refined as part of a new action system, but they're exciting changes that will pave the way for more complex systems such as horticulture. Next section is going to cover the next update, and they state our current targets have us putting out builds to stable once a month. A huge inspiration for approaches we aspire to is Prison Architect, who do this very well. We have no set time frame for experimental releases. These are done to assist us with preparing for stable releases. Above all else, it is vital that people appreciate several things. Different tasks take different amounts of time. Priorities for tasks are built around what is needed based on dependencies, not what is most needed to satisfy the game design. Scheduled builds are targets, not absolutes. We will delay and postpone builds where we are not confident in their status. Devblogs are no longer scheduled weekly and are done as often as we can to provide the background for our progress. The final word. This is an extremely exciting time for us all as we come out of 2 months of very aggressive growth. We've expanded the team a great deal, taking a huge risk in doing so. That risk is paying off, and we're excited to see the massive impact that the pathfinding and collision changes will have on the DayZ experience. Alright guys, so that pretty much covers everything on the latest devblog update. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and I hope you can come to my channel and find information that you don't want to have to look up yourself. That's what I'm here for. If you guys like the video, definitely leave a like on there. And if you got questions for me about this update, about the game in general, or anything for that matter, leave a comment. Don't forget, YouTube channel is youtube.com/the Kdwolf77. My Twitter handle, which you can follow me on there, get updates on our live streams, and whenever I post videos, is at Kdwolf77. I live stream most every weekend on twitch.tv/Kdwolf77. So thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate you watching my videos, and I love you guys so much. Wolf out.